When they had to pick favorites for the first round, I was Harry and Philly's favorite. Everyone at this shoot got over by him, essentially. He's currently arrested and detained in Australia. I don't know if you guys have heard about the Young Philly allegations, but Young Philly is a popular UK influencer and DJ and like artist, and he did a lot of like videos with FootAsylum, Channel 4.0, and that stuff, right? So I was gonna be in a FootAsylum video. I was gonna be in like 2 or 3 of them. The problem was he was the judge in 2 or 3 of the videos, and that's the whole reason I went to the UK, was to be in the FootAsylum video, right? I flew all the way there, okay? I spent my own money on the plane ticket, and because Young Philly's bum ass had to do some I'm down $2,000 and I get nothing for it. I can't even react to the video, which was my original idea. Now I can't even do that because they're not posting it, because it looks bad for them to post it. I auditioned for Locked In, which is a Big Brother type series. I have nothing against FootAsylum. I think their production team is great. They were very nice to me and everything. I just don't appreciate that I flew all the way down there and did all this shit for him to just, you know, f everything up, essentially, right? And obviously, I'm not like, I wasn't a victim of him, so I'm not even trying to equate it to that at all. Like, you know, what he did was terrible, and it should be handled accordingly. I'm just saying, like, dog, you f***ed me over too. But I'm kind of upset because I really was banking on, even if I didn't get in the video, I was gonna at least react to my audition, because I knew I had a lot of camera time, because they interviewed me like 8 times, literally 8 times. They interviewed me so much. Like, the interviewers and the producer like loved me, which was very nice, and it was a lot of fun, and being there was cool. I met a lot of cool people. One of the guys that I actually really liked got onto the final round, Tommy Mack, and I think he's gonna get into the Locked In, actually, so hopefully he does. I really like him. I was hanging out with him a lot of the time. It was like a cool experience, but I really like was hoping that I would get to react to it later for content and at least like recoup some of the money I lost from like flying there, right? Because I flew there on my own dollar, and the reason I did it is because I thought at the time it was a good decision, because if I did get into the show, it would have been worth it. If I didn't get into the show, at least I can say I tried and I went to the UK. At least I could say like, hey, I'll at least have the promo from the FootAsylum audition series that I can show, because there was going to be 3 episodes. I was going to be in 2 of them. And then there was another group that was going to be in 2 of them. One was like, we were separated into 2 groups. There was episode 1, episode 2, and then episode 3. Anyone that made it to the second round was episode 3. The first 2 groups were, or first round was episode 1 and 2. I was going to be in episode 1 and 3. And I waited there for like all day, filmed, went up, did all this stuff. And since Philly was a judge the entire time, they had to scrap the entire episodes. All 3, all the production team's time, everyone else that auditioned wasted their time too if they were banking on the promo. The other 3 judges that were there essentially wasted their time. They got paid at least. Everyone at this shoot got over by him, essentially. And I'm not here to say whether or not the allegations are true. I'm just saying the fact that they even happened is what f***ed us over. I've heard from people that know people that know people that it's not looking good for him because he has a really weird pattern of doing this sort of thing with women. Now, once again, I'm not here to question the victim story, but I'm also not here to like 100%, you know, convict the guy either. Like, I don't really know. It's still being investigated. He's currently arrested and detained in Australia for like the next while, actually. I don't even know how long. But because of that, the whole video when I was there got scrapped. And you want to know what the sad part is? The judges low-key loved me. They were like bantering with me. It was really like, I guarantee got camera time because I was able to be amusing to the judges, the producers, and this isn't even me being arrogant. Like, they interviewed everyone else like 2, 3 times max. They interviewed me like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. And I really loved the producer. He was super nice. And everyone else was pretty nice too. And honestly, this is good. This sounds bad in hindsight. I really was a fan of like their content, and I really did like Philly as a personality in the content. Him personally, I knew nothing about. I liked him and Harry in the content. And I was, when they had to pick favorites for the first round, I was Harry and Philly's favorite. Which doesn't really mean much anymore because, I mean, I guess you can say Harry liked me, but you know, the Philly, you know, stamp of approval means nothing now. But they really liked me. And I think Harry listed me as me and the Tommy guy who made it into the final round as his favorites. And then Philly listed me as his favorite. And then someone else listed like the Tommy guy that I like as their favorite. So me and the Tommy guy got 2 like endorsements in that round, which was really nice. Cause me and him were like hanging out. I was with him. He was lit. Yeah. I don't know. I'm just kind of a little bit upset about it. I don't want to be too upset because I don't want to make it seem like me, you know, getting cut out of this shoot is like as bad as the victims of his crime. Like I'm not even equating it to that. I'm just saying it's unfortunate that everything happened and that I will no longer be able to react to this regardless of the reason, right? But I'm pretty sure that's the reason why. I didn't get any confirmation and I don't know. Yeah, I think they scrapped the video because of that. I was really hoping to react to it on stream. I thought it would have been fun content. It would have been, you know, good to react to. You guys could have seen me on like a real shoot. I don't think this ever coming out. And they can't, to be fair to the production team, they can't even edit around him if they wanted to. You cannot edit him out. He's in every second of the footage. He was a judge the entire time. Some of the judges they swapped out because there were guest judges, but he was there the entire time. And during people's performances, he would often talk over them and add funny commentary. So there's really nothing they can do to salvage the footage. And I also kind of feel bad for the people that made it to the final round of the audition, the final 4 that are getting voted on. Because basically what happened is there was like 3 rounds. I made it to the last round. And then the last round, they picked 4 people. And those people would get posted on the app. And then the viewers at home could vote them in. So that would mean their followers could vote them in. Or viewers of the videos, the audition videos could vote them in. So the audition video was also like a way for these people to get votes. But now that the audition videos are gone, people aren't going to know anything about their personality unless they already followed them or bothered to check them out, which most people are not going to try to check them out. Most people are too lazy for that. So now that there's not the audition videos like showing them who they are, these people that are trying to get voted into this show are going to inaccurately be voted in, because the only chance you have is if you had a following that with you enough to vote you in now. Because everyone else, if you didn't have a big enough following or not enough people knew who you are, they're just not going to vote for you because they didn't get to see your personality in the audition. I feel bad for the 4 finalists too. I hope my man Tommy Mac makes it in. He was fucking lit. I loved him. He was so positive. He was energetic all day. He was a super chill guy. And yeah, I don't know. I was kind of sad because I did really like Philly. And it really felt good to like, I don't know, have him be like, yo, I think you're dope. Da, da, da. But me, I guess. Like, what does that even mean now, you know? Getting endorsed by someone who's like a sexual predator is not like, you know, a good thing. But yeah, that's why I tweeted about it, because I was like, damn, did they scrap the whole video? And I'm pretty sure they did, because if you go to the channel, they just posted this.
We all know how much you love Locked In. With season 5 coming, we wanted to do something completely new. We listened to your requests, and now one member of the public...
I wonder if you can see me in this. Yeah, this was the audition. I was right behind this dude. I was literally right behind this guy. So serious. Like, I was right behind him. I was standing right next to this group of people. I waited outside for like an hour. Then we got in there, we got separated.
The public is entering the house as the 11th housemate.
So this is the show I auditioned for.
Over 2,000 of you applied, and over 200 of you came to
I wonder if you can see me walk in.
audition with us.
No, I don't think so. I don't know if you can see me in this either. I don't know.
In person.
I think I was wearing blue.
200 auditions.
But yeah, they couldn't show really any of the reactions or anything.
To our 4 finalists. It hasn't been easy, but here.
Oh, that guy was cool too. Was this before your old job? No, this was recently. This was like when I went to the UK like a month or 2 ago.
Easy, but here.
Yeah, these people, they don't even get to show the personality really, because this is all you get of them now.
Are the final 4. Introducing Charlie, Thomason, Missy.
Thomason is my homie, okay? Shout out to him.
And Steph.
Not saying these people don't deserve it, but I know Thomason, like, I spoke to him when he was there and hung out like for like, 8 hours during the day. He was super chill.
All you have to do is download the FootAsylum app and select your favorite. The power is easy.
See, so it's like now you can't even like, you don't know who they are, you know? Like you don't know anything about them. So it's really unfortunate. How do they cast the other 10 members? So the other 10 members were people that are already signed with them because they are like a talent agency. Yeah, even people in the comments were like, scrap the whole audition video because of Philly. So yeah, it's really unfortunate. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, it's this channel that does all this stuff. They're pretty big in the UK. And like Locked In, each episode gets like 1 million views. I was hoping to get into that. I almost did, but I didn't. But you know, like I said, I'm not too bummed about it, like in hindsight. But I am a little bummed the audition video didn't like, you know, get posted. Yeah, if y'all want to vote for someone, vote for Tommy. He showed up in like a golden, it's almost like a morph suit, but you could see his head. And like he was gonna play a saxophone. But he was super cool. That video, he was crazy. But yeah, no, I'm sad I didn't get to see what he did because I was looking forward to seeing what he did too. I'll give you like the whole story about like what happened when I was there. So the first day I get there, you have to wait in a line. I show up and I see the line and I'm like, holy crap, this line is long. So there was like already 2 rounds of online auditions. So I filled out the application, which like I think like 2,000 people filled out. Then they video auditioned me. And then after that, they said, okay, you can come to the studio. So I show up to the studio line. The line had like 200 people, 200. And I was like, I really only thought there would be like 50 people maybe. After I get there, we're all waiting in line. People were socializing. I'm not gonna lie, I was really bad. Like I wasn't really talking to anyone at first. I tried, I just couldn't do it until I hooked up with Tommy's little group and I was shooting the shit with them. But at first it was like this group of like more like, I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. I tend to vibe better with like the bros. I'm really trying to say this without it being like a, taken out of context. So that group I was talking to a lot more and I was chilling and hanging out with them. It was a lot of fun. The other group with like the girls and like this other guy that was like very like, more normal and, demure, I was not vibing with as much. Like every time I spoke, they kind of looked at me like, I was like, okay, fine, my fault. I'll talk to the other group. And so they were cool. And eventually we get into the line and we start funneling into the studio. And then the producer, I don't know if he wants me to say his name, so I'm just going to call him F. The producer F notices me and was like, oh my God, it's you, the American. He's like, what's good? He's like, what's good, Quinn? How are you? And I was like, hey, what's good, man? And then everyone in the line was like, wait, who the f is he that the producer knows him by name? Who the f are you? And I was sitting there like, oh, I'm just American. And they were like, what? And then everyone the whole day, like there were some people that legitimately thought I was like faking my accent. They're like, I'm waiting for the accent to drop. I'm waiting. The accent's gonna stop eventually. I'm waiting for the accent to drop. And I was like, no, guys. No. Like, guys, I promise I'm actually American. The producer decided, hey, let's interview me. So they interviewed me in the line. I was the first person they interviewed all day in front of everybody. And like the lady that came up asking me questions, she was super cool. I really liked her. And we were talking back and forth, bantering, whatever. It was a good little fun moment. And then afterward, we end up going into the studio and they filter us into like 2 groups. So you're either in episode 1 or episode 2. I was episode 1. Everyone I stood with in line was episode 1 too. I think they just filtered it by where you were in line. And I was kind of glad because I really liked my people in line. Then they had like 2 green rooms. So it was like a room with like a couch, some like snacks, some like Coke in the fridge, some water, and some like seats and a couch, a table, whatever. And the first green room that I was in was so packed. I was like, I can't do this. So I found a smaller one that was like next door that they would let us sit into. And I went in there with a couple of guys. One of the guys I went in there with was Thomason, which was the cool guy I showed you his Instagram of. The other guy was this guy named, his handle online is like Jamro. He was super cool. So me, him, Thomason, and this, some like friend of someone that was auditioning. We're just kind of talking. There was this one girl who did like balloon tricks and everyone had like a talent you were going to show. My talent, I didn't have. Like I had no talent. I was like, I'm a personality hire. Which like, it got me pretty far. Yo, being the personality hire got me pretty far. I was like, yo, I don't have any talent. So one girl was doing balloon animals. The Thomason guy just kind of, he was a personality hire too. He was just memeing. The other guy I was talking to was like a speed reader. And yeah, my talent was literally, I got up there with the chair. I put my leg over my head and I stood up. And then I like said some stuff. I don't know. I decided that's what I was going to do like 5 minutes before I went on there. I was like, can I have a chair? They're like, sure. So I did that. I talked to the judges. The judges were Philly, Harry, FootAsylum, and the winner of last season's Locked In. I'm blanking on the name, but I know what she looks like and I know who she is. And so I went on stage. They found out I was American. There was this super cool segment where like, I did the chair thing. They were like, oh my God, what the hell's wrong with you? We kind of were bantering. Since I was American, they were like putting on an American accent. We were shooting the shit back and forth. And then one of them like was just randomly was like, yo, freestyle for me. And then 2 of the judges, Harry said something. Philly was like, They're like, I'm like the this without the this. And then Harry was like, I'm like the that without the that. And they said, yeah, freestyle about like burgers since you're American. And I said, like, I like my burgers plain and dry, unlike my bitches, unless they're on the side. That's what I said. Okay. Which, to be honest, fire bars. Okay. I don't care. All right. For rapping about burgers, I came through. Okay. That's what I said. Okay. I I said like, I like my burgers plain and dry. Unlike my bitches, unless they're on the side. And like someone was going like, one of the other judges was doing that, okay? And then everyone's face, when I said that, all the judges were like, and then Philly and Harry got up and started like screaming. We're like, oh my God. They just started dabbing me up. They started like running around like this around me. And then I got up and I started running around like this. And we were just running around in circles. It was a vibe. I'm not gonna lie. My initial audition had to be like one of the best ones because the energy that the judges gave me was crazy. And I was in the green room and I was hearing stories of everyone else that was like either getting rejected. And when you were up there, they had like 4 buttons and you had to get, I think, 3 green buttons to get in. I got all 4. If you have 2 green buttons and 2 reds, you're out. If you have multiple reds, you're out. So a lot of people were coming back telling me like what happened with their auditions. And like, it seemed like the judges like were not having it for a lot of people. Like, it was kind of like, you know how me and Jay, when we audition people for stuff, we're like we'll take the piss out of you and make fun of you if it's like good content. It's all in good fun, but like, you're not going to get into the like video aside from us taking the piss out of you in the interview. Like, that's what they did with a lot of people. So I was hearing a lot of people coming back that were either like kind of upset that they didn't make it or like saying the judges didn't really give them much energy. So when I went in there, I was terrified. But then the judges gave me like energy on 10. They were running around, like everyone was getting into it. So I was like, oh my God, you know, like I did it. And then I got all 4 yeses. And Philly was like, you know, I really like you, man. You know, I know you're American. You flew here. I'm going to be honest. Like, even if you flew here, I wasn't going to be nicer to you because you made that choice. But you were a vibe, you know. And look, once again, the young Philly endorsement now, looking back, is not great. But at the time, it felt good. So him and Harry and everyone really liked me. I was like, okay, cool. And that went super well. And then I got interviewed after that by the producer again. And right before I went in, I got interviewed by the producer too. So I got interviewed 3 times by the producer at this point. I leave, then I go to the green room and they tell us, hey, it's gonna be like 4 hours until we need you guys again, but you can't leave. And I was like, I'm starving. Can I get food down the street? And they're like, yes, as long as you're back by this time. I had to talk to security and just be like, hey, I'm gonna be back. They're like, okay, cool. What's your name? Da, da, da. Just so they make sure, like, you know, people don't come into the studio that weren't supposed to be there. So I went to this place. I got this pizza. The pizza was okay, but the pizza was a mistake. No. Y'all know when I said I got I'm lactose? I felt like I had to take a fat ass the rest of the day. Oh my God. Like, it was bad. Like, I was like, damn, I'm an idiot. My stomach was doing somersaults. It felt like I was like rearranging my organs. I was sitting there like, yeah, okay. And they're like, you want to interview again? And I'm like, sure. Yeah. And then I'd go back in the green room. And like, yo, one of the guys in the green room was like, you're so stupid, man. And I was like, bro, because the only place nearby that was close and like quick was a pizza place. And it was like a nice sit down pizza place. Like, I didn't, you know, there was like a Papa John's. I didn't go to that. I went to a nicer one. Then I came back. I was hanging out, talking to everyone. Pretty much hung out in the green room for like 3 hours, just talking to like, you know, Thomason and all the other people in there. And we were kind of talking about like what we do for content stuff. I was the only full-time content creator in there. So they were asking me like a lot of questions about that sort of stuff. Then they had us go back into the like shoot area. Everyone in group 1 line up. And then they were like, so a lot of you were great, but unfortunately, some of you weren't. And they had someone come up and say like right, left, right, left, right, left. And then they're like, if you were left, step forward. And then everyone that was left stepped forward. And they're like, you're going home. So the people that were left were cut. I think I was right, or whatever group was staying, I was in that group. And then they each went around and said who their favorite was from that round. And so, like I said, I was told by Harry and Philly that I was their favorite, which felt really good. They're like, yo, I loved your energy, man. Like, you know, the fact that you were able to like bounce off of the judge's energy and just adapt to the situation shows you're really good at like, you know, improv content stuff. So I really think, you know, you'll do well, even if you don't make it on the show. And I was like, okay, cool. So that felt good at the time. Like I said, now looking back, I'm like, damn, the Philly endorsement doesn't really mean anything. It felt good at the time. I went back to the green room again, and then we waited for a few more hours. Then they had to do the other group, episode 2. Episode 2 did their whole audition and everything, Then eventually, after that, we had people coming in, and some people were like complaining that they got eliminated. Some people were like really emotional about getting cut, which I kind of expected. But they were like, I just think it's unfair, And I was just kind of sitting there like, I ain't gonna say, I'm gonna let you complain, but I'm not gonna say anything. Like, you know, some people were a little bit too like emotional about it. And I was kind of like, bro, you know, it's showbiz. Like, no one cares, you know, like that's kind of how I was thinking, but I just didn't say anything. I was just like, yeah, I understand. Da, 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 you know, like you knew it was going to be a 90% chance of you getting cut when 200 people showed up. And at first I was terrified because everyone in my green room was coming back. Like, I didn't make it. I got cut. And I was like, I'm so, but I did it. Then we moved into a different room because after both episodes had gone and gotten cut and stuff, we moved into a different green room. This green room was so hot, bro. I was sweating my ass off. I had a migraine. My stomach hurt from the pizza. I was not really doing well. Okay. And the producer, like, listen, shout out to you. You were a nice ass dude. He kept wanting to interview me. Okay. So he's like, let's interview Quinn. And I was like, oh God, me again. Okay. Yeah. Like, you know, which in my opinion was like a good sign because that means they liked me. Which meant I would be in the video more. And honestly, the producers didn't have final say on who made it into the show. It was the judges, and the judges were just talent. So it would be like me and like my friends being like on a production shoot, and we get to judge it instead of the actual producers, which in hindsight isn't the greatest idea for having a good show. Like, I know like people that are content creators can recognize better content creators, but I do think like producers tend to just be better at it anyways, because the producers were the reason the original content creator group was there, right? So like, obviously they know what the hell they're doing. But that aside, if the production team chose who made it, I think I would have been one of the finalists, like in the least narcissistic way ever, because they did interview me a lot. And it was very nice. I really liked, the interview girl was super chill. I was vibing with her. She kept making jokes about like where I was from and, you know, saying like yee and stuff. It was a good time. Got interviewed a few more times. And then there was like the second round. The second round, I don't think I did as good as the first one, just because at that point I had been there for like 8 hours. I was a little bit tired, but I don't think I did bad. The thing that kind of threw me off is everyone was coming in saying like, oh yeah, they asked me these deep questions. Da, da, da. For me, they ain't asked me no deep questions. They were just like bantering and joking around with me, which honestly I thought was good. I was like, yo, if they're joking around with me, like that's content. That means they think I'm entertaining. Like they weren't really asking me like, so how would you be a good housemate? They were just like putting on American accents and like reading stuff in American accents. They had me do a British one. Like we were just, you know, it was just a jolly old time. And I was like, come on. She was like, I'm from this. Like there's I'm from Detroit. And I was like, I told her like the one like British lady trying to say that, I was like, people from Detroit have a little bit more confidence. And then everyone started dying laughing and made her read the lines and like, you know, try to sound like she was from America. It was fun. And I maybe since they didn't ask me the deep questions, I didn't get to like be known as well as a personality. And the only question I might have fumbled on is they were like, are you a shit starter? And I said only a little bit to keep it interesting, which to be fair, I'm not lying. But also like, I'm not going to be like a, you know, a complete head, you know what I'm saying? But like to keep it interesting. Yeah. They would like mic you up, send you out, you'd wait. Then they'd be like, you're up next. You'd go out, they'd take off your mic, you know, and all that. Then after that, they brought us all out again, lined us up. There was like 10 of us at this point, and they were going to pick 4. So each judge was naming one person that they wanted to stay in. I really thought that Philly was going to be like, yeah, let's get Quinn in, you know? Or I was like number 241 or something, or 201. And like, let's get number 201 in, because he really liked me the previous 2 rounds. And everyone remembered that I was the American enough to like banter with me. So I really was like, I think they're going to get me through. But they didn't. They ended up picking, honestly, like I said, the Thomason guy, I really thought he deserved it. So I knew he was getting in. I was like, me and him are probably going to get in. Everyone was gassing me up behind the scenes too. Like, yeah, you got this, bro. Like, you know, everything they've said about you was like really good. I think you're chilling. I didn't make it. I don't know if it's because I really wish I could have seen the video release, because I didn't know if they really debated for a long time about it or how they determined the final 4. And I wanted to know if I was brought up into the discussion at all, just out of like curiosity. But yeah, they picked him. They picked this other guy, this girl that I didn't speak to because she was in a different group, and this other guy I didn't speak to because he was in a different group. I thought I had a good shot. I think I was like, if anything, I was borderline, like in the least egotistical way possible. They just, if they named me as as a favorite originally, I thought that meant I had a pretty good chance, right? My other theory is maybe since I was in the first group, they forgot how I performed initially, because that was like 8 hours later. Like literally my first audition from like the final round was like, there was an 8-hour difference. So my also theory is like, maybe they forgot. But if I wasn't that memorable, then that's my problem. But I thought I was. I don't know. That or I kind of botched the second round, which like the second round I felt okay about. I didn't feel great. They had me do another freestyle and I kind of fumbled a little bit. I ain't gonna lie. Like it was, I fumbled a little bit. It wasn't as good as the first one. The first one was crazy. The second one, I was like, I was a little shaky. And I was hoping they weren't going to ask me to do it again because I knew I couldn't create magic twice. And that was kind of it. I was a little disappointed at the end of the day. I was kind of like, damn, I flew all the way down here for this and then I didn't even get in. I think I would have been less disappointed if I got eliminated earlier. But since I made it so far and the producers kept interviewing me over and over again and everyone else that was there was like, you have a really good shot, man. Like, I believe in you. One of the guest judges that was hanging out in the green room was like, yeah, bro, I vouch for you. So like, I thought I had a good shot because everyone was gassing me up a little bit too. So that's why I was a little bit disappointed. But I wasn't like that upset. Like I wasn't like throwing, like, you know, I wasn't like throwing a tantrum behind the scenes being like, this is so rigged and like messed up and Like some people were. Some people were like, this is so messed up. They're biased. And I was like, this is not the attitude you need if you want to, you know. Oh, also my stomach kind of hurt because I had expired chocolate the previous day along with like the pizza, which was great. I didn't know. Listen, the Kit Kats at my hotel were bitter and I didn't know they were expired. I just thought since I was in the UK, like the ingredients in the Kit Kats were different, you know, because they have some ingredients that are banned there that I was like, oh yeah, they're just more bitter here. My dumbass. No, they were expired. Pretty much it for the day.